What if I told you there's a country that lets you live for an entire year with no visa, sip ancient wines on mountaintops, and enjoy luxury for less than your phone bill? Yet barely anyone's talking about it. No, it's not Thailand. It's Georgia, the country, not the U.S. state. And what's happening there in 2025 is both exciting and a little mysterious. Right now, thousands of remote workers are quietly flooding into Georgia, calling it the last true freedom zone in Europe. But behind the scenic Instagram views and cozy cafe shots is a country on the edge of something big. And depending on who you ask, it's either a dream come true or a ticking time bomb. Let's rewind a bit. In the last 2 years, Georgia has exploded in popularity. Tbilisi, the capital, is now being dubbed the new Chiang Mai. Co-working cafes everywhere. Yoga classes in ancient castles? Sure. A full apartment downtown for $350 a month? Unbelievable, but true. And the real kicker? Citizens from over 95 countries, including the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, can stay for up to a year with no visa and zero red tape. So why is Georgia rolling out the red carpet for foreigners? After the pandemic hit, Georgia faced a financial crunch. Tourism had tanked. In response, the government launched bold policies to revive its economy, starting with the remote worker visa program. Suddenly, foreigners could register tax-free businesses, rent apartments for pennies, and live without much government interference. For digital nomads, it was paradise. But here's where things get interesting. Georgia isn't just affordable, it's different. It doesn't feel polished like Portugal or overdeveloped like Bali. It's raw, it's real, and that's what attracts people. You walk through Tbilisi's cobbled streets and feel like you've time traveled. Cafes serve you craft coffee in Soviet-era buildings. Stray dogs nap under communist statues. And just an hour outside the city, snow-capped mountains that rival Switzerland. And don't even get me started on the wine. Georgia claims to be the birthplace of wine, 8,000 years of tradition, using clay vessels called kvevrez. Wine tastings here aren't tourist traps. They're cultural ceremonies. Locals will invite you to toast, feast, and share stories deep into the night. It's this mix of history, hospitality, and affordability that has remote workers and YouTubers raving. But if you only focus on the beauty, you miss the full story. Because while Georgia is trending as a digital nomad hotspot, cracks are starting to show. After the Ukraine war, tens of thousands of Russians fled their country and landed in Georgia, bringing their businesses, capital, and controversy. Tensions flared as locals feared cultural shifts, political infiltration, and rising prices. In 2024, massive protests erupted when the government proposed a foreign agent law, sparking fears of Russian-style crackdowns. The streets of Tbilisi filled with angry youth, waving both Georgian and EU flags, chanting for independence and transparency. At the same time, digital nomads started to notice internet outside major cities, unreliable, power cuts, common in some regions, local bureaucracy, not as hands-off as advertised. And then there's banking. Some foreign freelancers had accounts frozen without explanation. It's not exactly the hands-off utopia influencers paint it to be. But here's the strange part. Western media barely covers any of this. There's almost a deliberate silence. No major publications are hyping up Georgia the way they do Croatia, Portugal, or Italy. Some speculate it's because Georgia isn't part of the EU, and its sudden popularity might disrupt traditional tourism markets. Others believe it's because Georgia doesn't play by the same geopolitical rules, and that makes people nervous. Even among travelers, there's a sort of gatekeeping happening. Some digital nomads actively avoid sharing too much about Georgia online, fearing it'll get ruined by mass tourism. Others exaggerate the danger to keep it mysterious. And the result? A country that's both exploding in popularity and shrouded in secrecy. Still, the numbers don't lie. Real estate prices in Tbilisi have nearly doubled in the past 2 years. Co-working spaces are sold out. Nomad forums are flooded with posts asking, "Is Georgia still worth it in 2025? Some say yes. Others say the window is closing fast. Because the truth is, Georgia is at a crossroads. It wants to preserve its rich culture, but also modernize. It wants tourists, but not exploitation. It wants EU membership, but not at the cost of its independence. And as the world discovers this hidden gem, it's facing a question no influencer can answer. Can Georgia stay free and affordable without losing what made it magical in the first place? So, should you go? Absolutely, but go for the right reasons. Don't just chase cheap rent and epic drone shots. Go for the history, the people, the resilience. Learn a little Georgian. Support local businesses. Respect the culture. Because Georgia isn't just the new Thailand, it's something entirely different. And in 2025, it may be the most fascinating place in the world to witness a country writing its next chapter in real time.